Hello dear viewers and welcome back to the ancient dwarven hold of our ancestors. I am back once again to ramble on about another video game. Today we will be talking about Bulletstorm. Bulletstorm is a first-person shooter developed by People Can Fly and Epic Games. It was published by Electronic Arts and released in 2011. Just a quick word here dear viewers, if you like the video and haven't done so already, then please consider subscribing. I remember when this game was announced and they showed all the crazy stuff you could do with booting enemies into spikes or off of cliffs while leashing someone towards you before blasting them with your trusty 4-barreled shotgun. It was definitely intriguing. I played this several years ago, having a good old time, and just recently I noticed it in my game library. I thought I'd have another play of it and bring it to your ears and eyes. Bulletstorm is set in the future, where the human race has ventured into the stars and the galaxy is ruled by the Confederation of Planets. You are Grayson Hunt, leader of the Dead Echo outfit of tough lads, a Black Ops team under the orders of General Serrano. While on a mission to take out so-called terrorists and evildoers, Dead Echo discovers files on a computer that show the targets are all in fact not terrorists, but personal enemies of the General, who he wishes to assassinate for his own ends. Several years have passed since Team Echo discovered the truth, and they're now on the run as space pirates, attempting to evade the General's forces and bounty hunters whom he has set upon them. We meet Serrano's flagship in orbit of a planet. Outgunned and outclassed, Grayson mashes his ship into the Serrano's flagship and takes them both down, crashing into the planet below. You awake on the planet's surface, and only with one member of your crew left alive, Ishii, who you swear to get to safety. It is now up to you and Ishii to find some way of getting off the planet and somehow perhaps get some measure of payback to General Serrano. The city you find yourself in seems eerily quiet though, well except for all the gun-toting lunatics that are out there to kill off what's left of Dead Echo. Graphically, Bulletstorm holds up quite nicely for a 12-year-old game. The aesthetic kind of reminds you of Gears of War, with big gruff dudes literally kicking ass and blowing bad guys to bits. Our heroes are indeed big tough lads who don't take any rubbish from anyone. The various levels that you work your way through over the course of the game come in good variation. There are rocky trails, industrial complexes, towering buildings, a huge dam, city walkways and underground sewer systems, amongst others you can get into. There is brown to be had here, but there is also a lot of colour, with blue skies and sunlight, palm trees and bright lights lighting up the different parts of the city. The main city you crash into was apparently a tourist destination, which explains all the sun, sand and sea. Something happened though, and all of the occupants have either turned into crazy gangers or been warped by strange mutations. There is also local nasties from man-eating plants to large angry things, which would prefer if you buggered off. The graphics are pretty decent for the time and still look solid now over a decade later. The gangers look dangerous with varying types with different armour, guns and ways of defeating them. There is a variance enough of them that you don't get too bored with blasting through them. To be honest, it's more about the different ways of taking out the bad guys rather than what they look like. The different weapons that you can equip in game look big and beefy, with the aforementioned 4-barreled shotgun, flail explosive guns, bouncing bombs and all sorts. I'll get into greater detail shortly, but needless to say, when destroying enemies, it looks most ridiculous and over the top as you punt a ganger or mutant into a giant cactus or a large exhaust fan. The sound of you firing your guns and smacking bad guys gives good feedback, adding to the oomph when dealing with bad guys. Although in a first-person shooter it is most important to have a visceral visual feedback, the guns and explosions and everything else has to be up to scratch itself. Luckily, that is indeed the deal here, with the sound providing ample satisfying feedback during combat. As mentioned, you begin the game stranded in a city, with just a rifle and a stiff boot to your name. You must fight for your survival almost immediately, as you are set on by hoodlums intent on ending your lives. You will pick up new weapons as you progress through the game at a steady pace. I think we better talk about combat and the skill point system, as this is the main point of this game and what sets it apart from its peers. At the start of the game, Grayson will find a leash on a dead commando. This is a special bit of kit that attaches to your hand, allowing you to send out a whip-like beam of energy, grappling hold of any enemy and allowing you to pull them towards you or slam them into the ground. The other role it takes in game is to score your combat prowess. As you fight baddies, the way in which you kill them will be rewarded with skill points. The more ridiculous the kill, the more points you gain. It might not be as interesting perhaps if this was just a score attack feature, but these skill points will have a direct impact upon your progression. You see, the skill points you gain can be used to upgrade your guns and leash, as well as purchasing ammunition. As well as buying and increasing the ammo capacity of a weapon, you can also unlock each of their special abilities called charges. These skill charges are powerful abilities related to each gun, with each having a maximum number of charges. The weapons in Bulletstorm are quite diverse and cater quite well, I think, to different approaches to combat. For example, if you want to hang back and use the sniper rifle, guiding the bullets in slow motion to pop the heads of a baddie, then you're free to do so. If you want to just run about being a nutter, exploding stuff with the flail gun or the bouncing bombs, then you can do that too. If, like me, you like a good dwarven shotty, then you can pull out the old quad-barreled beast and blow bad guys in half. There are many ways to kill a man, or a mutant, or strange beastie, and you'll be rewarded for doing so. You can shoot bad guys normally, but you'll be rewarded more for killing with headshots, one-shotting something, or even shooting someone in the balls. But this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of ridiculousness. You can leash someone towards you, then shoot them in the head before booting them into a bunch of spikes. You could fire a flail explosive around a guy's head, then explode it to take out another guy running past. You could boot explosive canisters into bad guys, or shoot them off the side of a cliff, kick them into a man-eating plant and all sorts. It is really all rather silly and great fun at the same time. You can get quite inventive indeed with how you take out bad guys, and the game environment will provide you with additional ways to defeat them. There are cactuses, spikes, electrified cables, and of course, good old gravity to make use of. I found myself switching between weapons fairly often, which is likely the best way to approach proceedings. After a while of firing rockets from and taking headshots with the pistol, you can switch to blasting gangers away with the shotgun or the explosive flail gun. You could then switch to sniper rifle and take down baddies from afar with some well-guided large caliber bullets. Bulletstorm is good fun. 4 words that are very general, yes, but the game is indeed good fun. It doesn't last a long time, which I think is actually a good thing. You don't want all the gun-toting madness to become boring, so I think going out on a high is the best way to approach things. A game being a little short is totally fine with me if you can get what you came for, and I think Bulletstorm does fine enough. It is here for a good time, not for a long time. This is definitely a game you can sink into and blast away baddies for a while, forgetting perhaps some of the more serious things going on in your life. This is what good video games do. They give you some respite to the ancient sadness that can sometimes take hold of an old dwarf. If you like FPS games, then I would check this out. If you like cover-based shooters, I also think you should give this a look. It has Epic's fingerprints all over it. With regards as to where to get this from, Steam seems to be the only place, which has the full clip version, which was a later release. I actually bought the original version years ago, which is delisted on Steam now. This version tries to connect via the Games for Windows platform, which isn't there anymore. If you have this version, the game won't run. I found a fix on the Steam forums though, which I'll add in the link below. It is an unofficial fix, so of course use at your own risk. I would aim to get this on sale if you can. It's an older game and is discounted often enough that you should be able to get it this way. And there we go, dear viewers, another video from this here old dwarf. I hope you are doing well wherever you are, and I hope my videos help, if just a little, with your day. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.